Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to Premier League predictions for the upcoming Easter weekend's games. Before we do get into this, drop what you're doing and hit that like button. We're going for 505 likes on this one, and do make sure to subscribe as well. As I say, we're pushing for 30k by the end of May, so get involved. And let's get straight into this, Sophie, with Manchester United versus Everton. Man United have not been at their fluid best over the recent weeks. Everton picking up results where they can. They got a draw against Tottenham Hotspur. They got a draw against Chelsea. They picked up a win against Brentford as well. I don't know, Soph. I feel like Everton are just causing a few teams problems here. And
upsets.
I don't know if Sean Dyche and Everton can go down. I mean, they're in the mix, but surely they've got enough togetherness to get over the line. I think they're going to be solid, and they're going to cause Man United a problem or two. 1-1.
Yeah, do you know what? I think Everton are capable of causing an upset here. I do think Man United kind of need to get back on track, and maybe they'll look at this fixture as being able to do that, because with the team they've got, they should be performing a little bit better as well. And I know the manager has received a little bit of criticism when they compare him to other managers and the points tallies and things like that, but I don't think he's doing that bad a job. It's just very difficult at United at the moment. Sean Dyche, however, is doing a very good job at Everton, and I did think he would, to be honest. He's kind of that kind of manager that will just kind of secure them under the season in the Premier League and build on that. I am tempted to back a draw as well. However, I just feel like I'm going to have to edge it towards Man United. So for me, 2-1 United.
Ooh, that's a painful one for Everton. Okay, on we go to Villa Park. It's Aston Villa versus Nottingham Forest. Villa are absolutely flying at the moment. Unai Emery has really turned them into a brilliant team, and they just got a great win away at Leicester in the last minute with Traore's brilliant goal. They're beating everyone at the moment, and one of the most winnable games in the Premier League is when Forest are away from home. Villa should win this. Forest, I did watch against Leeds.
Frustrating.
They took the lead, and
that's what they do, and then they bottle it.
Yeah, that's 3 games in a row where they've taken the lead and not won. And as I said, they're just very flaky away from home. There's a lot of pressure in the media on Cooper. It's an interesting one. I do think there's Forest fans out there that want to change. I do think there's Forest fans out there that want to stick with him. My perspective on this is, Sophie, stick with him till the end of the season.
Well, didn't they just give him an extension like a couple of months ago?
That was earlier in the season, yeah.
Right.
I just come on, like, they wouldn't have got to the Premier League without him. I know, you know, they do look like they're in the mix to go down here, but who do you actually look at and say would definitely keep them up? Because I think Cooper knows a few of those players extremely well, and I think if they've got any chance, it'll probably be with Cooper. But
I agree. Stick with them.
They need to get some results, and I can't back Forest here. I'm going to go Villa to win 2-1.
Yeah, no, I don't see Forest scoring in this. If they were at home, I'd probably back them to score. I'd probably even back them to go ahead and then bottle it again. But I think Villa are in really good form, and I think Unai Emery is doing a great job, especially at the moment. And I see them winning this 2-0, so fairly comfortably. Yeah,
Villa look good. Forest, not so much. We shall see. On we go to a really interesting matchup. This Brentford versus Newcastle. 2 good clubs going in the right direction. 2 good managers as well. Thomas Frank versus Eddie Howe. This is tricky. This is really tricky. So if Newcastle have obviously got the top 4 to play for, but Brentford, they could be getting European football this season. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Newcastle beat Brentford quite comfortably in the reverse game. Let's go for a little bit of a surprise. Brentford to beat Newcastle. I'll go Brentford 1-0.
Okay, now I'm going to back a draw here. I'm going to say 1-1. I think this is 2 teams. And do you know what I love seeing? When another team is kind of sitting in that top 4. I like a bit of an underdog. I don't think you can really class Newcastle now as an underdog. However, they've not invested as much as, say, like the other teams at this moment in time. So I like both these teams, and I could see it going either way, to be honest, and that's why I'm kind of sitting on the fence and backing a draw. So 1-1. 1-1.
Okay, on we go to Craven Cottage. It is Fulham versus West Ham. It's East versus West London, and I don't know, you know, so if I mean, West Ham, they're obviously in the relegation mix, but they're above the bottom 3. They've been picking up a few results here and there. Fulham have had a good season, but their recent results haven't been great, so there is an opportunity here for West Ham. I'm tempted to sit on the fence, but I will just give it to Fulham. Maybe they could just recapture some good form. I'll say Fulham 2-1.
I think it's going to be hard for Fulham to kind of recapture that good form at the moment because they've got Mitrovic out for, I think it's like an 8-game ban.
Yeah.
I think their manager has got a ban as well, a couple of game ban. So that is going to have an impact. It's got to have an impact, and that's why I see a draw playing out. If they did kind of have full strength and they didn't have all these bans, then I think I would have edged them. But purely the way it is at the moment, I'm going to have to back a draw here. So another 1-1 for me.
Another 1-1. Okay, easily the biggest game of the weekend is at the King Power. Leicester City versus AFC Bournemouth, 18th versus 19th. Obviously, the winner will come out of the bottom three this weekend. A draw doesn't do a lot for either team, so they both, I don't know, they're both not in great form, but Bournemouth have been more capable of getting the odd win here and there. They did beat Fulham, they did beat Liverpool a few weeks ago. They have just lost to Brighton. Leicester City haven't won in a long time, and I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't have a bloody clue. I will go for Leicester because they won't get more winnable fixtures than this. Sorry, Bournemouth. I'll say Leicester 2-1.
I know, I actually feel bad on Bournemouth for predicting a Leicester win here. I know they've just lost against Brighton, but then that is Brighton. With Leicester, they've got rid of Brendan Rodgers now, so currently they don't have a manager in. So is that going to benefit them? Maybe. And that's why I'm going to back them to win. I'm going to say 1-0 Leicester. I see it being quite a tight game, to be honest.
Yeah, tricky one that. Okay, on we move to, I suppose you could call this a top four battle. Tottenham Hotspur versus Brighton. Tottenham, obviously, another team without a manager at this moment in time. They got a draw at Everton. It was a crazy game which had everything in it, but just so frustrating for them to lose the win so late on. They got a draw in the end, but Brighton look very good at the moment. They're beating everyone. They've just picked up 3 points against Bournemouth as well, and I think Brighton have got a bit more. They're just a bit more solid at the moment, and they've obviously got a manager in there who knows what he's doing, whereas Spurs are trying to search around to find what they want to do with themselves now, because I don't know what their direction is. But Brighton, I think, will finish higher than Spurs this season as well. I'm going to say that. Spurs 1, Brighton 2.
No, I actually agree with you, and I'm going to back the same scoreline as well. I see Brighton winning this. I think they're in pretty good form. With Spurs, as you say, at the moment they don't have a manager. I'm not too sure who they're going to get in either, to be honest. I don't know who's really going to want to take that job. Maybe they take it just for the payout, to be honest, because I don't think they're going to be lasting too long. It's not going right at Spurs at the moment, and it is going right at Brighton. So for me, they win this 2-1.
2-1. Okay, on we go to Molineux as Wolves take on Chelsea. This is a difficult one, I'd say, because Chelsea have not been great. They've also not got a manager at this moment in time. They got a 0-0 against Liverpool. Wolves, meanwhile, have just picked up a draw against Forest. Before that, they lost to Leeds. I don't know, both teams coming at this a bit inconsistent. I feel like a draw wouldn't be a disaster for Wolves. Wouldn't surprise me if they won this, but I'm going to sit on the fence and say 1-1.
Okay, now I'm actually going to have a bit of an upset here. Wolves win for me.
I think if you back Chelsea, that would be an upset.
Do you know what? Actually, you're probably right now. I don't think they're going to have a manager in time for this fixture. Again, similar to Spurs, I don't know what anyone could go in and kind of do at Chelsea at the moment, because they've thrown money at this team and it's, again, not clicking. So for me, Wolves are going to win this 1-0. 1-0.
Okay, on we go down to the south coast. St Mary's, Southampton take on Manchester City, bottom versus second, and Man City have just been, well, they've just smashed Liverpool. They've just been smashing teams about, and they really need to keep doing that in their pursuit of Arsenal. Southampton are bottom. They're now a few points adrift of safety, so even a win here and they'd stay in the bottom three, which is not a great position to be in. They did, however, beat Man City in the Carabao Cup a few months ago, but the Premier League, Man City really can't afford to drop any more points. So I'm going to say Southampton 0, Man City 2.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with you again. I think it could be tempting to say an easy kind of Man City 4-0. I think Haaland might be out again for this game. However, they've proved that they don't actually need him, and sometimes they play better football without him, which is weird.
Jack Grealish was amazing against Liverpool.
Yeah, I think he got man of the match as well, didn't he? Rightly so. So I'm glad for him to be finally hitting some really good form and living up to that price tag, because that is a weight on your shoulders, isn't it? Yeah. So for me, they're going to win this, but I'm not going to say Southampton to get absolutely rolled. So I agree with you, 2-0.
2-0. Okay, on we go to Ellen Road. Two teams in the bottom 9, so involved in this battle. Leeds United versus Crystal Palace, but they've both won their most recent game. They're both, at the higher end of this relegation battle, and you feel like a win for either team would make them look nearly safe. They're not definitely safe, but just that bit closer. Palace with a great win for Roy Hodgson. I got that one. I said 2-1 to Palace.
Well done.
But Leeds United, I think they look very good under Grazia, and they just beat Forest as well. I think these two are both going to stay up. As for this game, I think Leeds United pinch it. Being at home, I'm going to say 2-1 Leeds.
Yeah, I'm going to back a Leeds win as well. Fair play to Palace and Roy Hodgson for their win at the weekend. That was a good result. But yeah, I think Leeds can play good football at times. They turned it around at Forest. I did think that they probably would end up doing that. That says more about Forest than it does Leeds. However, with Leeds being at home, I'm going to back them. So 1-0 for me.
1-0. Okay, the final game is at Anfield. It's Liverpool versus Arsenal. Now, Arsenal were hoping Liverpool would do them a favour last week against Man City. They didn't. They lost 4-1. Now it'll be the reverse. Man City are hoping Liverpool can do them a favour by trying to get something against Arsenal. Liverpool since then have drawn with Chelsea 0-0. They don't look great. No. I think the fact they're at home means there's more of a chance they'd get something than if this was at the Emirates. However, Arsenal are a good team this season. Liverpool are not a good team this season, or not by the standards they've been setting. So Arsenal win this, but Liverpool might make it interesting. I'll say Liverpool 1, Arsenal 2.
Yeah, I do see Liverpool possibly scoring, which is weird to say that after that Chelsea game, because they did not look good whatsoever. No. I think they need to bounce back from that. It's a very, very tough fixture coming up against Arsenal, especially at the moment. Actually, pretty much coming up against them all season, to be honest. Arsenal have just been very, very good.
Yeah.
And I think, for me, Arsenal are going to win this, and a little bit more comfortable than you. 3-1.
Oh, okay, 3-1 Arsenal. Okay, well that wraps up the Premier League predictions, guys. Do make sure to get your predictions down below. Do make sure, of course, to drop a like, and do make sure to subscribe. Thank you for joining me, Sophie.
Thank you.
I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.